So, what is something that you've shared for anybody who listens to this on a regular basis? I'm going to repeat myself here, but for anybody who has only recently joined us, it might be helpful. You have shared very openly and honestly that when we met, you are not the same person that you are today. And that sense of knowing yourself and being the authentic person that you are today was not the same. And it's the same for me. Like, I was certainly not the same person. I think we all evolve as we get to know our authentic self. But how did you get to the point where, like, what's one step or two steps that you personally took to be able to say, I know who I am and what authenticity is in my view? And since I know who I am authentically, it's easier for me to know the same reflection of authenticity in someone else.
Great question. It is a continuing practice. And I feel like that's important to create context around, that it's not a once and done, or just because it's still happening today. I'm still unveiling aspects of myself that I didn't know existed. And I believe we all are to some degree, whether we're conscious or intentional behind it is another aspect of it. I was so worried about what other people were thinking of me without really realizing that the vast majority of people weren't thinking of me. We're all so busy. We've all got a lot going on. There's so many things happening in our lives. I mean, we're just attempting to make it through the day, let alone, wondering what happened, to me, or why maybe I didn't say this in the right way, or I was so caught up in my external and how I was presenting myself and every word that I used, and making sure that they liked me, and that I was accepted and received well, that to some degree I was almost in paralysis. And it's a terrible way to live. It's just, I didn't know how to be me because I was so busy thinking I should be what everyone else wanted me to be. But the reality is no one was thinking about me enough to know what I should be to them. So I was just chasing a void.
Somebody would tell you, well, you should be this for 1 second, because that was their initial knee-jerk reaction to whatever was going on. But then they didn't think about it again after that. And you thought about it nonstop after that until the next person told you you should be something else. And again, it was a 1 second knee-jerk response from them because that was what was happening in that moment. And then they didn't think about it again, but you couldn't stop thinking about it. And then the next time you saw them, chances were they didn't even remember that they said it, but you had been spinning in it nonstop.
Yeah, I was chasing external validation, making it my identity without any understanding of exactly who I am or why I was even doing it. And it made me actually lose who I am, because there's no way. I mean, basically I was attempting to become something that didn't exist.
The pinball effect. So you pinball off of all these different things, and eventually you end up down in the little gutter area because you have no idea.
Exactly. So, yeah, just learning how to not need external validation, learning how to actually understand who I am and not be a people pleaser. And it doesn't mean I'm going to be a jerk all the time. It's not like a one for one, throwing out, okay, well, I'm no longer a people pleaser, so I'm just no, it's not that at all. It's just understanding that there's probably like 9 billion people in the world now. And I'm okay with I'm not going to be friends with everyone. Not everyone's going to be my cup of tea, and I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea, right? And there's no way I'm going to meet all 9 billion people anyway. So it's a completely unrealistic concept. And so most of these things that were in my head were so unrealistic. It wasn't even practical, and so it kind of makes it funny, when I started to laugh at myself, and just realize, wow, why am I making this so complicated? It's it, if I if I'm so busy attempting to attach myself to others, I'm forgetting how to be a magnet myself.
Yes. And I think that's a key aspect on social media.
Yeah.
If we translate that to social media and the authenticity on social media, we have created, when we talk about being authentic, how are we silencing ourselves and not being authentic on social media? I think what you just brought forward is a key aspect. I don't care about filters personally or that type of thing. It's how are we not being our authentic self because we're so worried about how many likes we get, how many follows we get, how widely accepted we are, instead of how true to ourselves we are.
It's so true, and it's tough because it's distorting. I mean, when you make a post and let's say 70 people like it, and you're like, oh, that doesn't feel like a lot. And it's like if you were in a room with 70 people and 70 people gave you a high five, said that was awesome. Oh, it'd be feel phenomenal, right? I mean, how many times have we all been in a room where that's happened? I don't know of a time. I
Yeah.
doubt very many people could be in a have that experience in their life of actually having 70 people around them saying, "Hey, you're awesome. That's amazing.
Way to go. That
Way to
made an
go. That
impact
was
on me.
cool."
Yeah.
No, that doesn't. But it seems like that's death in terms of like how we receive it. Like it falls it, it falls short to us. We look at it as a downside. Oh, I should have 500, not 70. And
Yeah.
it's like yeah, that's just such a tough. It really social media can quickly distort. It's almost like taking dimensionality out of it. We're in a three-dimensional world, but social media feels very 2D, feels very two-dimensional in the sense that it takes away this experience of being around actual people because you only have it's you and a screen, and that's your relationship. Where in a three-dimensional space, you've got so much more around you that you're experiencing beyond just the two ways. It's almost like a one-way street in a way. I know I'm not really making sense because I'm just kind of I don't know. I'm just saying it out loud right now, but
You're just
I
feeling it
haven't really thought
through.
about it in that sense, and it makes sense to me in my head, and maybe some will kind of
Like a
understand.
one-way push
Yeah,
and not even a two-way interaction.
yeah,
So maybe not even dimensionality. It's more looking at it as how is it interacting? We're so busy pushing out that we're not even realizing that it's an engagement and it's not even a live engagement. There's a screen blocking it. So it even creates a sense of separation. And it reminds me of the Orville. There is an episode of the Orville where everything is based on how many likes you get, and your life can actually depend on it. If you get too many downvotes, you get like basically a lobotomy, right? Your whole sense of identity gets reset. And we are getting so often, our authenticity and our authentic voice can begin to become almost censored out there. And when I mentioned, we were told often, hey, if you want to get likes, if you want to get subscribers, you need to change to meet a certain way of doing things. The intentions were good, but the point was if we change who we are to meet a platform, then that's changing us fundamentally versus knowing who we are and putting ourselves out there to attract those who are interested in who we are. And eventually they'll be able to find us and we'll be able to find you. And that attraction will occur. It might take some time, but it's worth it because then we're all in this together versus I'm going to keep changing my message to find the likes. I'm going to keep changing who I am to find the views. I'm going to keep changing because then it's what you said you were doing in the beginning. It's the pinball effect. I'm going to keep bouncing off of everything. Instead, we planted ourselves like a tree. We did the Captain America effect, right? Planted ourselves like a tree. And we were like, no, this is our authentic expression. This is our soul's authentic expression. And we know there are other souls who are expressing themselves like this too, and would like to find a home in the same space. So let's all express together in the same way. I would offer that when it comes to authenticity in social media could be a means. It's not the only means, but that could be a means of how we're kind of stifling ourselves. Instead of following the likes and following the views or something along those lines, it could be more so know what your authentic expression is and hold to it.